Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shannon Rutherford, the town planner. I'm going to do a roll call for the Farmington Historic District, and then I'll turn it over to our chair to start the meeting. So with roll call for our members, I have Jay Bombara.
Here.
Jim Calciano. All right, and we're not seeing Jim yet. We'll get him as he calls in. Sally Hatzenbuehler.
Here.
Evan Honeyman.
Here.
And Jay O'Leary.
She's here, but on mute.
Jay, you want to unmute yourself for roll call?
I'm sorry, I'm here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Liz Gemsky.
Here.
John Renahan.
Here.
And Ted Sanford.
Here.
All righty. It's
Okay.
all yours, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Shannon. Good afternoon, everyone. I will call to order the virtual meeting of the Town of Farmington Historic District Commission for Tuesday, November 16th, 2021 at 4:07 p.m. I will appoint Ms. Gemsky in place of Mr. Calciano. And Mr. Bombara, would you please read in the public notice on behalf of Mr. Calciano?
Yeah, I'd be happy to, Evan. I mean, you like them all read at once, right? So
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Notice is hereby given that the Farmington Historic District Commission will hold an online public hearing on Tuesday, November 16, 2021 at 4 p.m. on the following applications. Ms. Porter's school application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to install heat pump condensing units at 5 dorms located at 47, 49, 53, 59, and 63 Main Street. Jim Calciano, application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to replace wood panels and aprons below bow window with AZIC PVC material at 13 Church Street. Paul Russo, application for temporary certificate of appropriateness to install outdoor condenser unit for mini split system at 126 Main Street. Interested parties are encouraged to participate in this online public hearing. The link to this meeting may be found on the Town of Farmington's website at https://www.farmington-ct.org. About Farmington calendar meetings. A copy of this proposal is on file in the planning department at Town Hall, Farmington, Connecticut. It may also be accessed online, another link, or by calling the planning department at 860-675-2325, dated at Farmington, Connecticut, this 20th day of October, 2021. Jay Bombara, Acting Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Secretary. And for our first agenda item, Ms. Bradley's here on behalf of Ms. Porter's school. Ms. Bradley, could you please state your name and the addresses you're representing for the record, and then please proceed with your presentation.
Good afternoon. My name is Katie Bradley. I am here today representing Ms. Porter's school, and we are seeking permission to install heat pump condensing units at 5 dorms on Main Street. The addresses are 47, 49, 53, 59, and 63 Main Street. And the units that are being displayed here on the screen are the same units. The same unit will be used in the back of all 5 dorms. And if you, I have a map of every dorm and the location. What I tried to do is update it for you so that I wrote on the bottom of, for example, this picture on the left of that picture is Main Street. So you can see that this is essentially, these 3 units are in, they're highlighted in yellow, and they are in a nook behind the building. And that is for New Place dorm. And this is the one that's on the corner of Mountain Road. And okay, now we're at Colony Door. You're going a little fast for me, but
Sorry.
So do I need to explain anything, or should I just ask you questions? I mean, have you asked me questions, excuse me.
Okay.
If you can just scroll through for everyone to see, at least here now, and then we can open up to questions and comments, unless there's anything else you'd like to add.
No, that last picture of the diagram, the overall map is very helpful because you'll see where Main Street is. It's the, running there, and we have carefully tried to place all three condensing units needed for each dorm in the back, in the rear of the buildings, in a way that hopefully will be the least noticeable from Main Street. And they are they are needed because we are adding AC to the dorms. We've already done all the dorms on the west, and now we are trying to get AC into central air into the east of Main Street dorms.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to note that Mr. Calciano has joined the meeting.
Thank you.
I am here.
All right, so we'll open it up to questions and comments from the commissioners, and let's please first start with Ms. Hatzenbuehler.
The only question I have is, these are brand new units going in, and they've never had the central air before. Is that my understanding?
That is correct. We have installed air conditioning in the dorms on the west side of Main Street over the past 5 years, and we are going to start that process on the east side. We have not had AC. The girls, it gets up to high 90s on the third floor in September. Yeah.
So
It's
long
only
overdue.
getting close.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Renahan? Mr. Renahan? Okay, we'll come back. Ms. Gemske?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're all in the back of the dorm, so it looks good to me. Thanks.
Mr. Bombara?
Yeah, I took a look at all the locations, and I do agree that some probably won't be observable, a couple of them perhaps, but I think they're well located and, obviously support Ms. Porter's in trying to keep these buildings valuable, part of the district. So thank you.
Mr. Sanford?
Yeah, I don't have any questions either. I looked at them also and think they're very well located, so I'm fine.
Thank you. Mr. Calciano?
I think they're all well located. The only thing I have, Katie, is the question on Humphrey. That's one where we had the electrical boxes kind of moved to the back, so they wouldn't be as observable from School Street. Was there any chance of like putting a piece of screening up or something as you go up school? It may not be, because I see how all three are located in a row.
Well, they're also right off of the driveway, and
That's it, right? The driveway's there. Okay, never mind. You're limited as to, we certainly don't want them on School Street, and they'll probably be visible somewhere else if you put them on the north side. So I guess I'm okay with it. Everything else looked really wisely placed.
Okay, thank you. Ms. O'Leary?
I think everything looks great.
Okay, let's come back to Mr. Renahan.
Hey, no questions on my end, sorry.
Okay, no problem. Any other questions or comments from the commissioners? Hearing none. If there are any questions or comments from the public, please raise your Zoom hand and Shannon will unmute you.
Again, if anyone has called in to participate in this hearing, raise your hand and you'll be acknowledged. No, Mr. Chair, there are no hands raised.
Okay, hearing none. Is there a motion on this application?
Sure, I'll make the motion to grant a temporary certificate of appropriateness to Ms. Porter's school to install the heat and pump condensing units at the 5 dorms as shown in the plans.
Thank you very much. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say aye. Hearing none. Any abstentions? Hearing none. Okay, the motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Bradley.
thank you very much.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Okay, let's see. For our second item, our very own Mr. Calciano is here. And I assume that he'll be abstaining from the vote, so I will appoint Mr. Renahan to vote in his place. And Mr. Calciano, can you please just state your name and address for the record, and then please proceed with your presentation.
James Calciano, 33 Mountain Road. The address of the property we're looking for approval is 13 Church Street. This consists of 2 condominium units in the former Academy or Grange Hall on the corner of Hart and Church Street. If you look at the picture, it'll show you that bow window. And at the bottom, you can see there's 4 feet on each end and 7 feet across the front. It's about 32 inches high exposed. It's the height. It's a beaded board, which are about 6 inches across each board. They have been rotting for some years. It's one of the few things we did not replace on the building, but time has taken its toll. So what we are asking to do is to replace the wood beaded board that's about approximately 6 inches with 6-inch beaded board, which is made out of AZAC, which is something the Historic District Commission has approved before as far as material goes. It is virtually the same in looks. The base board, if you go back to that picture on the bow window, there's a white baseboard, and that will be AZAC also. That's the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll open it up to questions and comments from the commissioners, and let's first start with Mr. Renahan.
No questions on my end.
Ms. O'Leary?
I know, no questions. It's it's explained well.
Mr. Bombara?
No questions, and especially we've approved this type of material before, which I believe we have.
Ms. Hatzenbuehler?
No, I'm all set as well. Thank you.
Mr. Sanford?
Just one question, Jim. The aprons you talk about in the formal part of the application, that's the baseboard at the bottom?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And Ms. Gemske?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments from commissioners? Hearing none, if there are any questions or comments from the public, please raise your Zoom hand and Shannon will mute you.
I am not seeing any hands raised, Mr. Chair.
All right, hearing none, is there a motion on this application?
I'll make a motion that we grant a temporary certificate of appropriateness for 13 Church Street to replace rotted vertical beadboard apron under bow window with AZAC beadboard as shown in the application.
Thank you very much. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, please say aye. Hearing none, and any abstentions? Hearing none. All right, the motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Calciano.
Thank you, commissioners.
Okay. For our third agenda item, I believe Mr. Russo from Glasgow HVAC and Mr. Smith are both here on behalf of 126 Main Street. Mr. Russo, if you're leading the presentation, could you please state your name and the address you're representing for the record and then proceed with the presentation?
Sure. Paul Russo. I'm the owner of Glasgow Heating and Air Conditioning, and property in question is 126 Main Street, Farmington, Connecticut. And we propose to put in a mini split outdoor condenser on the left side of the house. I don't know, we have a screenshot, you have that, so you could see where the unit's going.
Yep, okay.
That seems to be about the only location that would make sense in terms of the property location and being discreet.
Okay, thank you very much. I will open it up to questions and comments from the commissioners, and let's start with Ms. O'Leary.
Right now, I don't have any questions right now.
Okay. Ms. Gemske?
So just, it does look like it would be visible from Main Street. Is that accurate? No?
I don't think so.
I look at that map. Is it placed where that circle is?
Yes.
But you're saying you can't see it from Main Street?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
When I went by the property, it looked like it could potentially be visible, but it was not extremely, it would not be extremely noticeable, I don't think, depending on the time of the year. Any other questions, Ms. Gemske?
Nope. Thank you.
Mr. Sanford?
Yeah, it looks like when I walked by, there's a hill there. It slopes down. So it didn't look like it was going to be very visible to me. So I'm okay with it.
Okay, Mr. Calciano?
Only question I have, it's a mini split, so is it a wall-mounted unit inside that's serving a couple of rooms, or is it?
Yes, that's correct. There's two inside units that, one on the lower level and one on the upper level.
And how are you getting the hosing?
So there's refrigerant piping that would travel, that would be, however, there'd be a sleeve over the small piping that leads up to the unit.
Okay, and that'll go up one story, or is it going to be first and second floor, or just
There'll be a first and a second.
first and a second? So where the unit is, and then you're probably going to put it where, near the rain leader that's this
Correct.
Okay.
I could show you more specifically if you let me do a screen share.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, we typically don't,
I'm sorry, are you trying to share your
That's it.
screen? Is there something that you can
no,
send to
Mr.
Shannon?
Chair, we typically don't share screens during the public hearings. So if you would like to make an exception, I can, but I've got to do that through Zoom.
What are you looking to share?
I just have an extended picture that would show exactly where that slim duct would go along the side of the house.
Would you be able just to email that to Shannon perhaps, and then we can continue with some questions and then display that before we open it up to the public?
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm only bringing this up because completely, when you're using split systems, somehow you have to contend with, the refrigerant piping that goes back and forth to those units. And I guess it's within our purview to say, is this appropriate? Is it just going to go up the side of the house? How's it disguised? We've not done too many of those splits, so I guess we probably should just talk about it now.
It'll all be on that same side of the house, which is the left side.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I know what it looks like, so I'm okay with it. I think we have to probably pay more attention to how those things get connected. But yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Mr. Renahan?
No questions on my end.
Mr. Bombara?
Yeah, there's just some clarity on the refrigerant or the piping we're talking about. Like, how big is that, and how close can you get it to the gutter, the downspout?
Well, the enclosure is 5 inches that comes over the piping. The piping's like 3/4 inch and half
All right.
inch.
Yeah, it's the enclosure that's important. That's what you're going to see, right? And is it rounded? I guess it would be, right?
It looked like,
Yeah.
like leaders.
Yeah. Well, looking at it and, obviously, like many things, it would be preferable if we didn't have to do this. But again, like we have with other properties in the village, I think we have to be flexible. I would also note that when I look at the assessor's map, that, really anywhere you put this is going to be visible from one of the streets because it's on the corner of Pearl and Main. And I actually think where they're locating it is the best side to do that. And as I forget who I think Ted said, it does slope down there. So you may see the pipe, but again, it's going to look like a rain leader, I think. But
That's
so
right, like a smaller, more decorative piece of rain leader, that's correct.
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hatzenbuehler?
I'm all set, no questions.
Okay, thank you. And I know that I think Ms. Russo was going to email the screenshot, but it sounds like the commissioners are comfortable without seeing it. So I think we're okay with that. Are there any other questions or comments from commissioners though? Okay, hearing none. If there's anybody on from the public and you'd like to be heard, please raise your Zoom hand and Shannon will unmute you.
No, Mr. Chair, I'm not seeing anyone with a hand raised in Zoom and no activity in our chat feature,
Okay.
so we're all good.
All right, thank you. Hearing none. Is there a motion on this application?
I'll make a motion that we grant a temporary certificate of appropriateness for 126 Main Street to install one outdoor unit mini split with 2 indoor units and to permit the installation of the refrigerant piping in the enclosure along the side of the house next to the gutter or the down.
Okay, I think we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say aye. Hearing none, any abstentions? Hearing none, okay, the motion passes.
Could we get a confirmation on who seconded that motion, please?
Jim.
Jim Calciano. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jim.
He was quick.
He was quick. I thought that was him, but I just wanted to confirm for our record. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Russo and Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
Okay, so that concludes our public hearing for the evening, and we'll be moving on to other business. We have been talking for a little while about a scheduled time change for our 2022 schedule, and we've passed it around a few times, and we're at the point now where we're ready to discuss and hopefully adopt our 2022 schedule. You'll notice that the change is for the start time from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And that's in an effort to hopefully make it easier for not only the commissioners, but also the applicants to be able to attend. So having said that, are there any questions or comments or concerns about the 2022 schedule as proposed?
I have none. I will say my recollection going back, which is not always good, admittedly, was that to some extent we were trying to accommodate the town staff. I mean, there's a lot of meetings and stuff and trying not to get them having to stay late every night or a lot of nights. But I take it that we've addressed that, or at least that's, I mean, I'm fine with 5, but I just want to make sure that we're not burdening anybody too much more than we have to.
I think we appreciate the consideration, but we also understand that trying to have a public meeting and with folks working, it perhaps, this is a nice compromise. At least 5 o'clock most times will be finished by 6, so that's all right. And the other ones all roll at 7. So this hopefully is a nice compromise for everyone.
I do remember when it was at 2 o'clock, I was shocked.
Right.
That's at 5. So. All right, that's all I have, and I'm supportive.
Thank you, and also a thank you to Shannon and Sandy for putting in the legwork on this. It's difficult to piece all the meetings together, so thank you. Any other questions, comments about the schedule? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the 2022 meeting schedule as presented?
I can make a motion to approve the meeting schedule for 2022 for the Historical District Commission.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
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 All opposed, please say aye. Hearing none, any abstentions? Hearing none. Okay, the schedule has been adopted. Thank you. All right, I have some sad news to share with the commission tonight. After 9 years, Miss O'Leary has made the difficult decision to resign from the commission. She's enjoyed her time on the commission, but wants to spend more time with her growing family, which is certainly understandable. And I just want to say on behalf of the entire commission and the town of Farmington, thank you, Miss O'Leary, for your commitment to the town and to the historic district in general. Her resignation is effective January 1st, 2022. And for any folks who are interested in serving on the Historic District Commission, or if you know anybody who's interested, please feel free to have them reach out to any of us or directly to your respective town committee for consideration.
Evan, I'd like to state that you have a couple of, or at least one Republican alternate who would be an excellent full-time. So I hope that however this decision is made, that's offered to him first, and then we could certainly appoint an alternate. I think it's critical to do that, and so I would encourage you and the staff to make sure we're thinking about that as candidates identified.
Absolutely, thank you. Ms. O'Leary, would you like to say anything?
No, I just like to say thank you. And I have enjoyed my time on the Historic District Commission, and wish everyone well and hope that it continues to do the good things that we've been doing all these years before. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Would anybody like to add anything else? Okay, hearing none, I believe that Shannon has a staff report regarding the expansion. So I'll turn it over to Shannon.
Yes, and I think maybe we'll move this for the next meeting into other business. I know we wanted to leave it on the agenda, so we didn't lose track of the historic district expansion. So the one that took place in 2021, all documents are finalized and filed, maps are updated and uploaded. So it should be all set on the website with updated maps. They're recorded on the clerk's office and whatnot. And so this really is for forward thinking. We spoke last month about other interested parties and starting to get the ball rolling for the next expansion. So I think we had left it with commission members to kind of chat it up with neighbors, and this might be a great time in the holiday season as folks are getting together and gathering, that in varying events that take place, to take that opportunity if somebody is expressing some interest, to certainly point them our way, or any of you, that all the information's on the website, but we can certainly start to get them introduced with some of the paperwork that would be required. And so we can field those calls here at the office and help get that ball rolling and get a list generated if folks are interested.
Okay, thank you very much. Would anybody like to comment on that?
Other than just thank you for all that hard work, Shannon, and I really appreciate it.
Certainly.
Thank you. Okay, we have our meeting minutes from our regular meeting, October 19th, 2021 to consider. I read them and did have one correction, which was made and updated. It was essentially the total number of votes tallied on one of the public hearings was incorrect. It said 6 versus 5, so that had been corrected. But are there any other comments or changes that anybody would like to make? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as submitted with the correction by Mr. Hunting.
We have a motion. Is there a second? All right, we have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, please say aye. Hearing none, any abstentions? Hearing none. All right, the minutes passed. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And the meeting is adjourned, and looking forward to seeing you in December.
in December. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy
very much.
Thanksgiving.
Take care.